The early 90s, a young company called Sega challenged the dominance of Nintendo video games. Using the processing power of its explosive and hedgehog with attitude, Sega did what Nintendo could not. What was the secret of the success of Sega? Was that an exciting new way to make games? It was a superior technology. Was it pure luck? The answer is none of the above. In fact, the driving force between the rise and fall of the rule of Sega is the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. When first launched Sega Genesis in 1989, Nintendo NES had enjoyed almost 5 years of unchallenged rule. Nintendo had reached the summit due in part to its line of memorable characters. Mario, Sims, Zelda, Mega Man and many others had captured the imagination and wallets of millions of consumers. Sega opposed the onslaught of Nintendo with Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic was incredibly fast and had the typical 90 principles of attitude that the kids loved. He also starred in some pretty good games. Unfortunately, Sonic does not have much in the way of backup. Sega's original mascot, Alex Kidd, was a complete failure. Kidd was unable to beat out even the likes of Bonk NEC in terms of popularity, not to mention a legend of video games like Super Mario. With the new Super Nintendo on the way, Sega knew he had to act quickly before Nintendo could trigger a new 16-bit Mario on an unsuspecting public. Sega executives searched far and wide to find a suitable opponent for the giant Nintendo. His salvation came in the first stage of the Bad World Tour in 1989. It was there that he met Michael Jackson and convinced him to create a game in which children around the world adore. It is rumored that he also attended the concert was a young Scottish Shiro, who found fascinating MJ hypnotic rhythms. Who knows what could have come from an alliance Scotta/Jacko. That was successful game Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, based on the hit movie of the same name, was like walking on the moon, an interactive music video. The player takes control of Cyber Jacko and uses magic to save the dance for young children from the evil clutches of the maniacal Mr. Big, while recreating scenes from music videos like Beat It and Smooth Criminal. Through the power of celebrity, MJ Moonwalker proved a modest success. The tag team of Sonic the Hedgehog and Michael Jackson helped bury console Sega 16-bit NEC TurboGrafx competitor. However, old Johnny Turbo could have been no match for the speed and style of the combination of Sonic/MJ. Nintendo and Mario would be much harder to kill. The same year that Moonwalker Sega released in the US, Nintendo responded with Super Mario Bros. 3, the pinnacle of the NES games. The Big N then followed that up with the announcement of its next-generation console SNES. Sega said that Sonic 2 is believed to be the best of the Genesis Sonic games. Riding the success of your franchise character, Sega took more than half of US video game market. However, the steady stream of Nintendo games based on popular characters helped them regain most of its market share. In 1994, the piece of the pie Sega video game was reduced to about 35%. The company once again turned to Michael Jackson to save them. A sequel to Moonwalker was planned, but a far more ambitious would soon be in the works. A third of Sonic Hedgehog game was drawing to a close, and although he was sure to be a hit, it was feared a new Sonic title does not impress the public enough. It was decided that Sonic needed was a little shot in the arm of Jacko himself. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was to show everything that was good about Sega. The speed of the mark, action and attitude of Sonic music combined with another of Michael Jackson. Who would want to play with a slow fat plumber with the subjects might be bored when traveling at the speed of light with the blue blur and the king of pop. It seemed as if Sega would have another monster hit on their hands. Unfortunately, things quickly unraveled for Team MJ/Sonic. Shortly before the release of Sonic 3, Michael Jackson was accused of doing some bad things with young children, who are now false. At the time, Sega was rightly worried that the image portrays a pedo as bad if accused had a part in the popular children's game. At this point, the game was much more child mania than it is today. Some of MJ's music was originally introduced in Sonic 3 was altered and any mention of Jackson was eliminated. This fact was kept secret for many years until the internet came around to ruin everything. Sega would have gotten away with it if it were not for the meddling kids. Sonic 3 was definitely a great success, but the king of pop backing him up, Sonic could not put much of a dent in the armor of Nintendo. Sega never recovered his position and could do nothing but watch as Nintendo were left in the dust. The Sonic franchise itself began to decline in quality and in time became almost extinct. Who knows how history would have changed if MJ had kept his nose clean only. Despite its tumultuous past, MJ and Sega had not finished with the others for now. Fast forward to early 2000, when Sega Dreamcast has just launched a last effort to stay in the console business. The Dreamcast had many unique games like Crazy Taxi, Shenmue, and Choo Choo Rocket. One of the interesting games was Space Channel 5. Recognize that guy? So, Space Channel 5 marked the triumphant return of Michael Jackson in the Sega universe. The story goes that MJ somehow learned the game while in production and liked it so much that he contacted the production team and asked to be in the game. The last time Sega and Jacko were together, their relationship ended in tears. But it was clear that both still liked each other and decided to put aside their past differences and get back together. MJ was not given only a cameo in Space Channel 5, but was given a more central role in the sequel. Seemed like a bright new era will begin for Sega and MJ. However, the justice system once again come between Sega, MJ, and success.